to get my new tube steel for the bed rails. Holy freaking smokes. Something a little different today. I'm actually gonna try some welding, and there's my little welding kit. If the weld is in there, you can only imagine how small it is, but that's all right. Because I got a new truck and it's absolutely spotless, virtually brand new, even though it's old enough to drink. No one's ever even sat in the back seat. The bed's never seen any material, but it's got these little bed rail issues just around the tire here. The front one's totally fine. The back one's totally fine, but just where it was getting flung on from the tire. So I'm gonna take some 2-inch tube steel and I'm gonna cut out right here and feed it in. I spent 200 bucks on the steel and I was getting prices at 2,200 to do real bed rail replacements. So see how it goes. First thing I'm doing is taking some plates that I cut up and welding some caps onto the 2-inch tube steel. Now I'm gonna weld this piece of angle iron on right here. Make sure it's facing this direction. I already made that mistake once. Then I took a multi-tool with a carbide blade and cut this little square out so that I can fish my tube steel through there. This has been my setup for littler pieces. I'm actually holding it with a clamp that's clamped, and then that's actually my ground. And then I use this so I can rest my arm while I'm welding. This is what I made to sneak in there where I couldn't get the full length supports, but at least there's something better there. When I was standing in the bed, this was completely crunching down, so I ended up putting a piece of strapping in, you can see, and then I just wedged 2 of my bars here. And now what I'll do is I'll pre-drill and get a 3/8 bolt into this to hold it in place, and then I'll go to the other side and position it tighter and up on this little taper up, because the further I can get it up that way, the better and stronger it's going to be long term. But this one's already in, ignoring the horrible welds, but absolute tank. And you can see I got the little 10-inch 2.5 pieces to help reinforce that, and then the 10-inch 3-inch tubes to reinforce over there. So feeling good about it with the new racks in the box and stuff. Love it. Now I can put my little welding setup back into storage until something else random comes up. It's times like this I'm glad I usually just deal with sawdust. Look at that. Couple days of welding and metal cutting and I got softballs worth of metal shards in my driveway.